over the chair, Chairperson.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
The agenda is in front of all of us. If you can flag the agenda, there we are. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Anyone wishing to change the agenda? The agenda. Any mover?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. It's Kosi. I move for the adoption of agenda, Chair.
Kosi moves so that the agenda be adopted. Any seconder?
Sheikh Imam, thank you.
Chairperson. BB.
Sheikh Imam seems to be happy with the agenda. Thank you very much. The agenda being so adopted, let me once again, honorable members, welcome you to the meeting as we move on. So the next item on the agenda is apologies. Pastor Pindela.
Honorable Chairperson, I have an apology of the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. Thank you.
Deputy Speaker of NA. Pindela. Secretary to the NCOP, Pindela. It's not there. Okay. Anyway, there are no other apologies. If this arises and needs to be considered at any point, we'll try and look at that. But for now, we'll move on. Item 4 is consideration of the minutes dated the 25th of November. Those minutes with us, 25th November 2021. Let's start with corrections. Let's look at page 1. Let's look at page 1. No corrections on page 1. Let's look at page 2. Any corrections on page 2? Any corrections on page 2? Corrections on page 3? And then it was closed at agenda 10:06. Thank you very much. There being no corrections, we'll then move on to the second step, which is the adoption of these minutes. Any mover?
I move, Honorable Chair. Butler.
Butler moves that these minutes be adopted
Chair,
as
we're
a
not-
record of what transpired at our previous meeting.
Honorable Chair, we're not used to shouting. We always raise our hands in the NA. Can you request NCOP members to raise their hands through the icon so that the meeting can be orderly? This shouting, we're not used to that. Thank you. I want to second the adoption of minutes.
Yes, the Chief Whip seconds the adoption of the minutes. So the minutes are so adopted. I saw a document here indicating an action list of all those issues that need to be followed up and so on. But before we do that, let's just go through the minutes dated the 13th of January 2022. Let's go through the same motion again. Let's start with the corrections first, and then we'll move to adoption later. Corrections, page 1. And the corrections on page 1, none. Page 2. Apologies, welcome. Apologies for the agenda constitutional parliament framework for 2022. Page 3. Arrangements for President's State of Nation Address, report on the fire and the parliamentary precinct on the 2nd of January 2022. Any corrections there? None. Last page, page 4. Any corrections? Page 4. Going on. Thank you very much. We're done with the corrections. Can we have someone moving for adoption of these minutes as a true record of what transpired at the previous meeting? Any mover? Pemi?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair of the NCOP, Honorable Masondo. I move for the adoption, Honorable Member. Thank you very much.
Let me move that these minutes be adopted. Any seconder? Any seconder? The more you keep quiet and so on, that we are eating into your time. So, Jonas Tapu, the second.
Yes, Honorable Chairperson of the NCOP.
Thank you very much. The minutes are therefore so adopted. I'm now looking for this document of mine. If you can just give me a second. Just to check the schedule. I don't see this document here now. Okay, that document reflected. Okay, there it is in front of us. Are there any comments on the schedule? Honorable. Okay. Okay. There's Classo.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable.
Why don't you just take us through the whole document?
Yes, I certainly will do that, sir. I think to start with the meeting of November, the main item there was the framework. So that would have been the matter arising. So the framework was indeed adopted and implemented in the 2022 annual session of Parliament. Now, in respect of the meeting of January, these are the three items that were largely discussed. The legislative program, there was a request that it be submitted, and that program has since been submitted, and it's the program that has informed our consideration of legislation largely in the current year. Secondly, there was an issue about training in the NA specifically, which was raised in the meeting. And so that training has since been held, because in February of 2022, the training for the NA was postponed, and the matter was raised in the meeting. So the training has since been conducted between the 16th and the 19th of August 2022. The last item, Chair, here the discussion was really around the impact on the fire on our venues, and the issue that was discussed was the choice of the City Hall at the time. And of course, as we all know, that SONA was held at the City Hall, and at the time the search for venues was ongoing, and there had been searches for venues even subsequent to the SONA, where the community halls were looked at The city ICC was considered a marquee possibility, was also considered. The Good Hope Center in town was also considered, and all of those were found not viable at the time. And so for now, we've been using the City Hall for like sauna, and we also used it for the MTB, the medium-term budget policy statement. And that is where we are, Honorable Chair, on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, there we are. Are there any other comments on this schedule or action list? I see Chief Whip of the Opposition, Honorable Barube.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to find out from the process document or the timeline, and I know Mr. Kaso has given an update thus far, but in the document it indicates that the search, obviously, for alternative venues is ongoing, which is good news. But I do want it to be placed on the record that, in fact, it's not a permanent solution to simply have the City Hall for special occasions and the Good Hope Chamber for the next couple of years. So I just want to get clarity, Chair, that in fact that search for alternative venues is something that is still ongoing with the presiding officers and the institution. Thanks.
No, thank you very much. Kaso, do you want to reassure Honorable Ahube that this is indeed the case?
Honorable Chair, I'll try my best. I think what I can say at this point is that, of course, we would have to get a positive.
Yes.
Yes?
Honorable Kaso, please proceed.
Okay. All right, sir. I think, Chair, all I can say is that we all know that there is a process that is being worked on around the restoration of the buildings. In terms of how we meet beyond just the big occasions, we must still get a policy decision on the matter. So I think at this point, it will be best for me to just leave it at that, and that policy decision must still be taken in terms of whether we would continue using a particular venue in the course of the year. That matter must still be concluded. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Hope Papo, I see your hand is up.
Yes, I wanted
followed by Singh.
I wanted to give an input before Mr. Kaso answered. This is why I was, because my hand was up and I was not noted. I was not interfering with the meeting. I think the issue, there's a particular agreement we have in the NA, and which was made even in the Chief Peace Forum. Now, I think maybe we should leave it there, because I don't agree with the views expressed by Member Kwahube. She knows how that issue was, and that the emphasis was made on rebuilding. Now, it's going to create a debate, but that issue will be taken up in the Chiefs Forum and in the NAPC, because that view that the way it was presented is not how the issue was concluded in the NAPC. Thanks. Anyway, that's why I'm saying we will take it up there, because I didn't expect the issue to arise in this meeting as a discussion.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Singh?
No, thank you very much, Chairperson. I just want to follow on the last honorable member. The matter was raised in our Chief Whips Forum, and I think what we are awaiting now is a program for refurbishment of the old assembly, and as a venue, and hopefully we'll get that next week before we rise. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, having discussed the issues and having made the comments that have been noted, we'll now move on to the next item on the agenda, And that item is report on legislation before Parliament. Honorable Kaso, do you want to take us through this? Or Pindela, if Pindela is there?
Good morning, Honorable Chair.
Yes.
Yes, it's Pinella. My apologies, Chair. I was struggling to connect, but the bills office will take care of the meeting through the.
We can't hear you properly, Advocate Pindela. If you can just speak a bit slower and on to the mic, louder, slower to the mic.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. I was saying my apologies, Chair. I was struggling with connection. The bills office will take us through the legislative program. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. Council, do you want to comment on this?
Good morning, Honorable Chair. It's Dr. Mbata from the Bills Office.
Yes.
I'll be taking the meeting through this document.
Yeah, please do.
In slide number 2, in the list of bills before Parliament distributed to honorable members together with this report, we've got 10 bills that are on the NA order paper, and 1 bill to be referred to mediation, and 1 to be read a first time and referred, and 33 before NA committees, and we don't have anything before the NCOP order paper, and we've got 10 bills that are before the NCOP committees, which is the number of bills that are still before Parliament. And our next reporting slide is slide number 4. Slide number 4, please. Slide number 4, Honorable Chairperson, we've got bills that are certified and ready to be introduced as soon as they have been prepared. The first one is the registration of Muslim marriages bill. The second one is divorce amendment bill. And we've got 2 bills that have been approved by the cabinet, and JR 159 has already been published in the ATC, which is still waiting for certification. The first one is the Tobacco Products and Electronic Delivery Systems Control Bill. The second one is the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Bill. And our next reporting slide, it's slide number 5. On slide number 5, Honorable Chair, we have indicated the bills that are with the President. They have already been passed by Parliament, and they are with the President for assent as indicated. The recent one is the 2 bills, which is the Drugs and Drug Trafficking Amendment Bill, and the second one is the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill. These bills have already been sent to the President as well for assent. The last reporting slide, Honorable Chair, is slide number 6. On slide number 6, we've indicated the main budget that happened on the 23rd of February 2022, and these were the bills that were passed and assented to, and they have already been sent to the Constitutional Court for safekeeping, the Division of Revenue and the Appropriation Bill. And the adjustments budget, which is, it happened on the 26th of October. We've got 3 bills that were introduced by Finance, and one of them is the Division of Revenue that I've already indicated that it's gone. And we are left with the 2 bills, which is adjustment and special appropriation to be passed on the 6th of December, and the tax bills as well that were also introduced and to be passed on the 6th of December. Thank you, Honorable Chair. That's all from the Bills Office.
Honorable members, there we are on the status and report on bills. Are there any comments?
Chairperson?
Yes. And
Honorable Stephanie? I just want to...
Yes. Please proceed.
Thank you. I just want to repeat what I've said in our programming committee. The one bill that needs to be referred to mediation, the time according to the Constitution as well as the rules of 30 days already has lapsed to refer that bill for mediation. Thank you.
Then anyone wants to comment on Lapskakna's comment? Dr. Mbata, if you want to comment on this.
Honorable Chair, all I can say is that the honorable member is correct. The time is indicated in the joint rules. I think it's 186. So yes, the bill is there because it has not been referred. So we've indicated it in our report so that it can be seen that the bill is still there. So that's all I can say, Honorable Chair, that we are aware that the time, about the time frames of the referral of the bill.
Yeah, but what are we going to do about it?
Honorable Chair, may I ask that? Thank you, sir. We will, first I must apologize for this. I would have prepared for it if it had been triggered in my mind. We will work on this and advise the presiding officers on how the matter should be taken forward. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, I accept that. I just want to refer, if we read the rules correctly, that bill cannot continue. Cannot be referred, the bill lapse if it's not been referred to the mediation committee after 30 days, but they can just check for correction.
Okay, well, thank you very much. For now, the presiding officers will be briefed accordingly, and the program committee, the joint program committee, will be kept abreast on what is being done. Hope, Papo.
Chair, I beg your pardon. I want about the fact of members not raising their hands and just screaming in the meeting. I think, please, Chair, please, can you help us on that?
Yes, no. Comment noted. I see the hand of Frank Jenkins. Frank?
Chairperson, good morning, honorable members, colleagues. The way I understand it, and we can prepare an opinion or take further or give further advice, but the way I understand the mediation process is only once the committee has been, once it's referred to the mediation committee. So obviously the mediation committee needs to be established and then it's referred to it, and then we have 30 days to deal with it. And that hasn't happened, but it has been some time since the president sent that bill back. So I don't know if one can leave it indefinitely, but the way I understand it from legal point of view is that once the committee is established and referred, there's 30 days for the committee to do its work. So I'm not sure if that bill has lapsed, Chair, but we can look into it and advise the presiding officers accordingly. Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you very much. So you concur. So there's an agreement there on that point. Thank you very much. We will then move on to legislation in 2023.
Thank you again, Honorable Chair.
Okay.
I will take the committee. I'll take the committee through. If we look on the same report in slide number 3, can we go to slide number 3, please? Thank you so much. I will report firstly on the 2022 Executive Legislative Program, which was submitted on the 16th of May, 2022. The list had 68 bills, Honorable Chair. Of the 68 bills that were on the list, 2 bills were passed and assented to. The 2 bills have already indicated that it was the Division of Revenue Bill and the Appropriation Bill. And 4 bills were passed and sent for assent. The 4 bills that were passed is the Drug and Drug Trafficking Bill, the Financial Sector and Deposit Insurance Levies Amendment Bill, the Financial Sector and Deposit Insurance Levies Amendment Bill, and the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill. And 11 were introduced, and these 11 are still before Parliament. And there are no certified bills from the list at the moment. Honorable Chair, there are further 51 bills on the list for possible introduction during 2022 or early 2023. So we will also keep an eye as the Bills Office on the 2023 list once it is submitted and update our reports accordingly. As for now, there's no 2023 list of legislation. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Okay, no, thank you very much. Are there any comments or issues clear? Any words of wisdom? None. So that's an update. As Dr. Mata was saying, there are no new development to legislation in 2023. So that's where we are. I see the hand of Frank Jenkins is up. Frank?
Chairperson, my apologies for coming back on this matter, but it's quite clear to me, section 76, 1E, and I can read it for the committee. It says, if the mediation committee is unable to agree within 30 days of the bill's referral to it, then the bill lapses, unless the assembly again passes the bill. So, Chair, we need to, if Parliament intends to finalize this bill and give some credence and resolve the difference between the President's view and Parliament's view on it, then we need to establish that mediation committee, and then the 30 days starts running from that day. So this would be on the agenda, I assume, for 2023, Chair, but that bill has not lapsed. It will lapse if we put it on the order paper before the end of the year, but otherwise it will be ready for mediation next year, Chair. I just wanted to put that so that we don't leave the meeting with a doubt. Thank you very much, Chair.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Jenkins. There we are. I guess what I'm saying is that at some point in the near future, we may have to revisit this point and then work on from there. So we'll leave item 8 and move on to, having noted all the reports and comments, we'll move to item 9. Consideration of Parliamentary Program Agreement for 2023. I know that some people have already commented on this, but let's see if there's any other comment that may have to be made. On the Parliamentary Program Framework for 2023, the NSOP Program Committee has just met, made comments and so on. Are there any other comments, or should we ask the NA person responsible for the Parliamentary program to take us through? Please do, NA.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Good morning, Honorable Chairperson of the NSOP, Honorable Speaker of the NA. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes, indeed, may I confirm that the NA 2023 framework had been presented to the NAPC last week and has been adopted. I will seek your guidance in terms of, would you like me, Chair, to walk through quickly in a summative way the NA program, which I can gladly do that. I'm just seeking the approach now, Chair.
We've just had the meeting of the NCOP program committee, and we updated and we have a sense of what that is. I guess now that the NA has also gone through a similar kind of process, and the program has been agreed to. What one may just ask you to do is to raise those issues that you think may need emphasis, but don't take us through the detailed program.
Thank you very much, Chair. I will just, in a summative way, then talk to the quarters, as it were, Chair, for completeness of this meeting.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. The first quarter in NA starts from the 24th to the 6th of April. That gives us 10 weeks. And of course, Chair, we must register that, which is very important to highlight. At main, we'll be looking at the State of the Nation address, the first day, and its debate, which is 2 days, which will be held at Cape Town City Hall. And the rest is the fiscal frameworks and division of revenue, which are more regulatory compliance and processes that we need to undergo. Then 3rd to the 6th of January, which is the first week, then it's a week for Constituent Week. If I may not talk to that, safe to say, then I'll quickly, Chair, if you may allow me, to highlight as well the oversight and the constituent period. The oversight period would be the 4th to the 6th, which is 1 week, and the constituent period, which we have increased, is 2 weeks. The second quarter, Chair, it starts from 18th of April to the 15th of June, which is 8 weeks. What is important here, we have also, Chair, given the constituent period more time, as members previously did indicate that they will have more, they would love the program to reflect or to be scheduled for more time for constituent period, which we have done. As worth noting, in the second quarter, if you compare with the previous framework, which is the year under review, we have increased with 2 weeks, which will give the constituent period from the 19th of June to the 28th of August for 10 weeks. For 10 weeks, that compared to the previous year, which was 8 weeks. The third quarter, Honorable House Chair, Honorable NCOP Chair, my apology, starts from the 29th of August to the 23rd, which gives us the 4 weeks. Worth noting here, which the year under review, which is 2022, was 6 weeks, which then amplifies the point in terms of giving more a constituent period. What is not noting here, Chair, is that that week will be plenaries. However, it includes as well the scheduling in terms of populating the program, the mini plenaries as well. The fourth quarter, which is the last quarter of 2023, which will be starting on the 20th of October to the 1st of December, which gives us 8 weeks, which is more of a BRRR period and MTBPS adjustment appropriation bill and its reading and division of revenue amendments bill and its reading thereof. And then it gives us the 2 weeks committee weeks and then the 6 weeks, which will as well include the plenaries as well as mini plenaries if need arises at that time, depending on the BRRR and the matters that need to be processed in the House, which will also accommodate the legislations and related matters, which will be 6 weeks. Then it will give us, then it brings us to the 2 weeks, which is the constituent period, which is from the 4th to the 15th, as well as the leave period, which is 1829, which is 2 weeks. Chair, I've done in a way very fast the comparisons of the year under review, which is 2022 and 2023. I would not repeat myself. Safe to say that the total number of weeks for NA is 52 weeks, as well as which is worth noting is the Men's and Children's Parliament will also be scheduled accordingly. And I hope and I believe that both, which is Parliament, then its preparations from the day one until the end, both houses will engage on the logistics in preparation thereof. Other than that, Honorable Chair, We will then, moving forward, when we populate our programs in separate houses, also populate the important calendar dates, like the 1st of December, which is the World AIDS Day, the Women's Month, and the Youth Month, and the Heritage Month, and the related most important calendar day in South Africa internationally. We will also continuously populate the international and domestic calendar, where the Parliament of South Africa is being represented, and the joint standing committees will be reflected when we populate the program separately. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Soma. We're now at the tail end of our agenda, but before we close, let's find out if there are any comments on the program just and foremost, and see if the speaker wants to make any comment. Let's start the program first. Any comments on the program? Or go to the speaker?
No. I have no comments whatsoever, Chairperson, because we have seen the framework on the parliamentary program for 2023 was presented by Honorable Bissouma in our meeting. It was discussed already last week, and therefore I'm quite happy, quite comfortable.
Okay, thank you very much, Speaker. Your comments are appreciated. Any other comments? I see Masculine class for there.
Chair, just so that we can code this correctly, just to indicate, I've just checked now with the Office of the Deputy Chair as well. The Men's Parliament is held every once in 2 years. So we've just had one this year. There won't be another Men's Parliament next year. I just thought I must clarify that point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. On that note, then we've come to the end of our agenda. Until we meet again. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson.
Members.
Thank you very much, Speaker and Chairperson.
Thank you, Comrade Sylvia. Comrade Gert.
Yes. I'm listening.
Somebody wrote me a note yesterday and said, calling you. I've always called you Gert. You've never objected. So I'll only
We'll discuss it offline.
Offline, order in the meeting.
Our meeting is
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, Zintombo.
Hello, Sisi. We're okay. Ninjani, na?
Siyaphila, Ntombo.
Recording stopped.
Thank you.